My name is Thierry Hartmann. I work in the French Ministry of the Interior as Innovation Project Manager. My role in the project is the role of coordinator. We have initiated this proposal in 2022, and since we have been funded by the European Commission, my role is to animate, to moderate and to coordinate the AHEAD team. Our main goal in the project with the team was to propose a Foresight methodology that fits to the civil security sectors. It means something that the civil security actors, law enforcement agencies, but also firefighters are able to make their own and also produce actionable results.
So I'm Yannis Kiadaresis and I'm the Area Coordinator for Disaster Resilient Societies Destination at DG Home. The strategic objective of DG Home is to not only use the Foresight mechanism, the Foresight methodology, but to embed it inside the strategic planning. By setting the goals, we follow this capability development cycle. The capability development cycle starts from the identification of needs at operational ground together with the practitioners, of course. We are practitioners oriented. And then we identify the capability that is there to enable afterwards a specific operation at operational level. The goal of DG Home is to create this mentality and to also have the practitioners identifying the capability gaps. Then we identify the needs, and then once we have the gaps and the needs, we launch a research program to cover those needs. And at the end of this cycle, we help the innovation uptake, so we equip our practitioners with innovative tools. That's the whole capability development cycle, as we say. Foresight is a crucial component, is a building block in this process, and that's why we launched the call of AHEAD back in the 2021, the work program of Horizon Europe, because one of the three main Foresight components that we use to our planning is the strategic Foresight report of the Commission. Then the other one is the work that we do together with the Joint Research Center in-house inside the Commission, and we develop Foresight methodology that we use for policymakers. And the third one is the outputs of AHEAD, because we use the roadmap that is actually produced under this project. We wanted to have a unified methodology that can be used afterwards by us as policymakers at national level as well, from the ministries and also from the end users and practitioners, to see how Foresight leads us to a specific goal.
AHEAD will produce a toolbox in which practitioners will find components that will help them to implement Foresight activities. It's going from a building scenario with expert or without expert, using just AI, to concrete Foresight activities as a backcasting or board game, delivering at the end something that they can decide on to action plan, so that Foresight becomes a part of their daily job to be better prepared for the future.
AHEAD methodology is a toolbox, and we develop several tools with UGent, the University of Ghent, which was in charge of developing the backcasting tool, and Hyperion was in charge of developing the AHEAD serious game methodology. We are not experts in Foresight, so it was a first experience for us, but we are experts in innovation, which is closely related to Foresight, because innovators think many years ahead and develop new and very innovative products that will be integrated to bring solution to organization. What is the main difference of the AHEAD methodology? There is a lot of Foresight methodologies that already exist and that already are used by several agencies. For us, it's very simple. Very often, these Foresight exercises are realized at a very high level, very strategic level, without the practitioners without the people that are on the ground and are true ground sensors. So this is a methodology that is bottom-up more than top-down, and the methodology and its implementation, like card games, is very interesting because it is something that is really easy to set up, that do not need technical means, that do not need quite no training for the participants, so it's accessible and flexible for every practitioner.
Our purpose was to test this toolbox in all the destination of the Horizon Europe program. It means FCT, fighting against crime and terrorism, border management, disaster resilient societies, so that practitioners, they can be coming from police, from gendarmerie, but also firefighters or people dealing with infrastructure protection or cybersecurity.
The AHEAD team performed 5 Foresight exercises, one on each of the 5 Horizon Europe Secure Society destinations. During the AHEAD project lifecycle, the consortium was challenged to execute 5 additional so-called satellite exercises.
My name is Lourdes Rodriguez. I'm part of the Spanish Association of Foresight, and I am a professional Foresight consultant. As a Foresight consultant, I really felt aligned with this project because trying to anticipate and look ahead of potential threat, how to prepare yourself better for this technology. And I think what we do as Foresight consultants is to specifically help organizations and individuals to be more anticipatory. So I feel very aligned with the project. I work with the European Commission, but also private and public organizations in Spain. So the AHEAD tool, I really like it because it combines security methodologies with Foresight methodologies. So this analyzing of drivers, signals of change, trends, but also combining with this red team, blue team. I found it really innovative approach, and I enjoy the workshop a lot.
My professional background is coming from pre-hospital care, so I'm a paramedic and I do work in fire department in Finland, Espoo, Länsi-Uusimaa Fire Department. I've been paramedic for 20 years now. From the Foresight, I haven't had any experience. This is a fairly new thing for me. The methodology that we used, it was good. I found that we gained good conversation with different kinds of people, different kind of backgrounds. It was easy to generate the conversation. Most definitely, I find this is a good way of processing different kind of scenarios.
So my professional background is mainly on research on radar systems, and I have been working also in counter UAVs for the last 10 years. So my experience in Foresight is little, let's say. I have participated in some Foresight exercises for several technologies, but yeah, I'm not an expert on Foresight, technology Foresight. I experienced the AHEAD tools, I believe they are very interesting because it's a way to make us think how the technology will develop in the future, and also put ourselves in 20 years ahead. I believe it's a really interesting exercise for us, especially for myself that I'm working on research. It's really interesting how we can think on technology in 20 years. I will consider to develop or promote an exercises like this, like AHEAD in my faculty, in order, for example, to maybe think on topics that are research topics that could be of interest for us, in order to develop for the future technology. So I believe it's actually a really good exercise, also motivating, interesting. I believe I spent a good time here with discussing with other colleagues, so I believe it's actually a really good exercise.
I don't have any experience in Foresight. Is my first time in such an event. About today's experience, I was participating very passionately, I think. I was. I liked because we are experienced dialogue. We have time to talk about our issues, about our ideas, about our questions.
I have a little experience of Foresight. I attended the workshop 2 months ago, so this is my second time, and it's very interesting, and I want to hear more. My experience today were very useful, interesting. I see this method as some new approach in training programs for firefighters or first responders, and I think it's very useful to develop the way of thinking.
I could use this practice in my educational praxis. I think it's also good for developing space for debates, for critical thinking. It's a very good thing for educating youngsters how to doubt, how to maybe be prepared for the situations they don't think about.
My name is Theo Engering. I'm a hazmat officer in the Greater Rotterdam, including the harbour and the port, and I'm doing this job for about 20 years. You ask if I had experience in foresight of an emergency. Of course, we do some kind of planning, but this backward casting is a different approach and a new approach to seeing what's coming to us. We've been using the backcasting tool a lot, and it was really easy to understand. It was the first time I used the method, and it was quite clear how to use it, when to use it, and how to work together with all the other people in the room.
The results of the AHEAD project actually are a meaningful contribution, and it can play a really meaningful role in that sense to what we do. I will give you an example. The mentality, as we say, the forward-looking approach has to be not only embedded in the strategic planning, but we need to follow it constantly. So that's why the Foresight roadmap that was developed through AHEAD can help us play this serious game, for example, or other tools that were developed to use this methodology practically, not only at the Commission level, but also at the Member States level. Why it is important? It is important because then we are proactive towards the future threats and the future risks, and we are not reacting to the future risks and the future threats that we're facing. And this is not only important from the innovation perspective, that we need a longer period planning, that we need more longer cycles for the development of the technology, but it's also important for our policy making, to be ahead of the time and also to be prepared when the time comes, when the crisis arises, and when we have to face a future threat. We need to be equipped and to be prepared.